So I watched Euphoria again. You see, I watched Euphoria back when it was coming out weekly in 2019, but I didn't like it that much. The only reason I watched it was so I could understand the Twitter memes and the hype around Jacob Elordi, only to find out that the hype for him wasn't around the show, but due to the kissing booth, which I must say I actually did like the kissing booth, don't fight me. Anyways, the first time I watched it, I didn't like the show, and I felt this was due to the main character, Rue. Rue is an addict who struggles with addiction throughout the course of season 1, and probably through the most of season 2. I don't know, episode 1 was just released, and she's using again, so. However, on my second watch, I didn't hate her as much. I think this was probably because when Euphoria came out, I unfairly judged her at 15 for making bad choices, and now at 18, I understand some of the choices she makes. Although not agree with them, I do understand. So I felt I should rewatch the show to remind myself of what actually occurred in season 1, as it was released in 2019. Okay, enough rambling, let's begin. So Euphoria was created by Sam Levinson and follows teenagers and how they experience drugs, addictions, high school, even though they don't really go, sex and relationships. The characters you follow are Rue, aka the central character and the addict, Nate, aka the villain, Kat, aka I don't really know what Kat is, but she's a bad bitch in my opinion and no one can tell me otherwise, Jules, aka the best friend / love interest / sleeper in Nate's dash / developing a crush on Nate. Wow, Jules is a mess, but I like Jules, so yeah. Maddy, aka the supposed bad bitch, but to me she's villain number 2. Cassie, aka the girl who can't ride the carousel without moaning. So to those who watch the show, I hope you noticed that I went in order of the episodes, if that makes sense. So Rue's episode is number 1, but not really because we follow Rue throughout the whole series. Nate's episode is number 2, Kat's is number 3, so on and so forth. Now, you might be wondering, where's McKay? Where's McKay? Now this is where I feel like the biggest fuck up for the show is, for me anyways. McKay is not a main character. Although his episode was number 6, although he appears in every episode, McKay is not a main character. He's a plot device used for the development of Cassie's storyline. So here are the faults of McKay. McKay is a student in university, which is where the show should and could be set, but it's not and I'm moving on. He's a jock, and he realizes his dreams of going pro at football is never going to happen. I don't know though, I feel like I could have easily told him from his height, but... The character of McKay is an interesting concept, but the show is set in high school, with teens ages 16 to 18. McKay is an outlier. He shouldn't be part of the main cast. They should have done with him what they did to Ethan, Kat's love interest. They should have made him a secondary character, a recurring character. It feels like he was only there to fill a diversity quota. It creates a weird dynamic with the whole show. McKay is only seen hanging out at high school parties and only really interacts with Nate, which is bad. Compared to every other character who all interact with each other, it's just weird. McKay is introduced to us almost as a foil to Nate. Nate is the asshole, the jerk, the manipulator, the abuser. McKay is just the asshole. When the boys were calling Cassie a slut, McKay poorly tried to defend her. Poorly. Which is something Nate has never done. When McKay was too aggressive to Cassie in bed, he apologized immediately. Although he could have asked her what she liked, but he did apologize. Again, something Nate has never done. However, McKay is a sheep. And whatever Nate or anyone says about Cassie will infiltrate his mind. Nate said Cassie likes it rough, so he tried to have rough sex with her. Nate calls Cassie a slut, so McKay downplays the intensity of the relationship, which leads Cassie to do this. Can I just say, episode 4 is fucking iconic. McKay is definitely overhated, and it's not really his fault that the writers don't know how to write men, because every single guy, apart from 3, are demons. I'm not even playing. Every single guy is demonic, including McKay's 13-year-old brothers. Every character has flaws, yes, but the men's flaws aren't like, oh no, I cheated on my test, which wouldn't even be anything in Euphoria because nobody goes to school. It's more like, oh no, I had sex with a minor in the swimming pool. Oh no, my whole persona is calling women hoes and sluts. Oh no, I have aggressive anal sex with people who aren't my wife. Oh no, I'm a manipulative abuser who made a semi-innocent man go to jail so I can be with a girl I can't really be with because my conservative parents don't like her. And we're toxic together. Also, I'm blackmailing another character to stay quiet about having sex with my dad, or I'm gonna say that they were distributing. Damn! As you can see, McKay is not the worst character. He's definitely in my top 3 list of favourite male characters in Euphoria, but that's not really saying much if you've seen the rest of them. The show does... In McKay's episode, he is interrupted while having sex with Cassie and is sexually assaulted by his friend. And do you want to know what the worst part is? It's never mentioned after this episode. McKay is sexually assaulted in front of his girlfriend, and he comes back from the bathroom and takes his frustration out through sex. People deal with their trauma in different ways. McKay was taught to repress his emotions. So the utter fact that people hate McKay because he didn't want to talk about his experience with Cassie is bizarre to me. Also, McKay gets Cassie pregnant and he talks about me instead of considering we or I. But I remember having a conversation with my friends and I said that sometimes you do put yourself first, and I do understand from that perspective. Like, obviously he is in the wrong. He should have said we instead of I. Even better yet, just focused on Cassie. But sometimes you do put yourself first, even though you don't really think about it. It's just an innate human reaction to put yourself first. So I do understand McKay from that perspective. Don't hate me, okay? Don't hate me. McKay is a flawed character, and the fact that I may not even see him throughout season 2 due to whatever reason makes me sad. Because that's the end of his storyline. Being known as a dick who got sexually assaulted, never made it pro, got Cassie pregnant, and is shorter than the average height for men in America. Nate fucking Jacobs, aka villain number 1. I don't think I have much to say about Nate that people haven't said before. Nate is an asshole. No ifs, no buts about it. People like to claim that Nate is misunderstood, and I wholeheartedly disagree. He's an evil, disgusting man. However, and here is the however bit, he isn't as black and white like people like to make him out to be. Now hear me out on this one, okay? I feel like somewhere deep down in Nate's heart, he actually loved Maddy. So for her to break up with him, which yes, she did break up with him before the series even began, he was heartbroken. But as a toxic masculinity chairman, he was like, fuck her, and acted like he wasn't heartbroken. So when he sees her having sex or not having sex, I'm still unsure about the whole swimming pool shit. His heart, which is still obviously broken, couldn't deal with it, and the scene that occurred next is Nate's fault. He doesn't know how to deal with his feelings apart from taking it out on Pete, just like he did to Jules. But Jules was not gonna take that. That sadness he once felt becomes anger once Maddy says that she blanked out during sex with Tyler, or whatever his name is. I'm pretty sure his name is Tyler. Even though she didn't, which makes Maddy a villain in my eyes. Lying. I know. Her lying about blacking out while having sex is you cannot consent to the sex. Therefore, it's but Maddy didn't black out. She lied. But Nate didn't know that. So he pounded Tyler to a pub and repeatedly asked him if he knew she was blacked out. Yes, Nate shouldn't have acted that way, but I do get where he's coming from. He felt that he needed to protect Maddy from the predator, as Maddy is underage and Tyler is 22, or around about that age. So in this situation, I don't believe Nate is in the wrong. I genuinely don't. Maddy is, for the lies, which only leads Tyler into more danger. Nate is an abuser, yes. He almost gets off on people fearing him. He likes the power, yes, but he is so smart. To come up with such an elaborate plan to frame Tyler and involves Jules as well is actually brilliant. Despicable, yet brilliant. So now he has control over Jules because he can frame her for Nate's sexuality is one of the most discussed topics. People are questioning if Nate is gay, bi, or straight. He found his dad's porn collection of him having sex with other men, and this must have had serious repercussions on the child. I mean, he hated seeing men naked, probably because he's seen his dad's porno quite a bit, and he's seen his dad and other men naked from the age of 11. Also, the things that Nate wanted in a perfect girl was exactly the opposite, or somewhere near the opposite, as things that are deemed as masculine. No body hair, sandals with pedicures, lacy chokers, and
girls who sat like boys, talked like boys, acted like boys. But there was nothing on planet Earth he hated more than body hair.
This might be due to his inherent homophobia and denial of his sexuality. But I don't know if he's gay though. But he might be queer, because a straight person wouldn't go on a gay date inside. That shit just don't make sense to me. The reason Nate had multiple dicks on his phone might be because A, he was trying to catfish Jules, or B, because he gets off on men's dicks. But also, how did he get those dick pics? Because they weren't his. He must have been searching for it. And why did he have so many? Because if he wanted to catfish Jules, he could have only just found one and sent it to her. Also, one thing I noticed when rewatching the show is Nate's gay dating app bio, which heavily persuades me to think he's at least questioned. It says that he's not out, so it makes me believe that he's bi or questioning. However, due to him being him and the toxic masculinity freak that he is, he's obviously repressing that shit. And honestly, I pity the guy. I know what repressing your true nature can feel, and it's not the best. It's pretty lonely. Is it genetically that Nate is the way he is, or is it because of the trauma he faced as a child and the conditioning from his dad to allow him to do whatever he wants? Even when Nate choked Maddy, strangled her, Nate's dad knew, and Nate knew that his dad knew, yet no discipline, no nothing. I don't know, I just find Nate is an interesting character. I feel like I like the character of Nate, but I don't like Nate as a person. I find Nate interesting, I just hate him. Also, in Nate's family portrait, there are 3 boys. So where the fuck is the last boy? That's what I want to know. Maddy. She is a so-called bad bitch of the show, but she's nothing more than villain number 2 in my eyes. I think it's fair to say that Maddy is at fault for the downfall of Tyler. Without her lying to Nate, saying that she blacked out, Nate wouldn't have gone over to his house, broke in, and beat the living shit out of Tyler. Then, leaving Nate to have an advantage and allowing him to bribe Tyler, or blackmail Tyler, into coming along with his plan and sending Tyler to jail for the abuse he caused to Maddy. So yes, I think Maddy is partly to blame for that, and that only. Maddy, like the rest of the people Nate interacts with, is a victim. She did not deserve to be humiliated by Nate, claiming that her outfit was smutty. She did not deserve to be choked by Nate when she didn't agree with what he did. I also think it's fair to say that a man who can leave bruises on you once can definitely do it again. I don't think this is the first time he's done this to Maddy. It seems almost like a routine, as Maddy had to wake up early in the morning to hide her bruises that Nate caused. And I don't blame Maddy for not telling Nate in. Have you seen the guy? She was definitely scared of how he would handle the whole ordeal. Again, like I said before, he's probably done something like that before, so what is stopping him from going the extra mile and killing her? He knows how to shoot a gun, for crying out loud. Everyone should be scared of him. The whole relationship is not only toxic, but abusive, if not borderline, and I really hope in season 2, Maddy does not get back with Nate. Leave Nate for Cassie, or Nate for jail, in fact. Jail, that's where he belongs. So my issues with Rue have changed from the first time watching the show to now. Yes, she's flawed, but she's struggling, and I genuinely believe she wants to change. But season 2 is making me feel like she does not want to change. One thing I must say is that Rue is a bit of a hypocrite. She obviously cares for Jules, and I want them to be happy, but I don't know if those two are good man. But that's not what I wanted to talk about now. You see, Rue tells Jules not to meet up with the boy she's texting, aka Shy Guy 111 or whatever, aka Tyler, which is actually Nate. She explains that it's dangerous and he's a stranger and he might be a catfish, which is true. However, her saying that it's dangerous is thrown out the window when she literally didn't listen to Fez when he told her to get out of his motherfucking house because a guy named Mouse is coming, which she didn't, by the way, and she's given a drug which does something to her, and then Jules had to pick her up. I don't know, Rue, if you wanted your worst to have some effect, maybe don't do dangerous shit and literally put in your life danger. Also, I genuinely don't fault Rue's mom for questioning Rue where she's been and if she's taking drugs, because she was right about her daughter. Her daughter was literally taking drugs and she got her friends to pee so she could pass the drug test. Twice! She did that twice. Rue's mom already lost her husband, then she almost lost her daughter, so she doesn't want to lose her daughter again, which is understandable. But her methods, I feel like, of going about it are a bit too much. There's no need for screaming and shouting. You can definitely get your point across by speaking to your daughter. She is a human after all. Also, Rue needs to apologize to Gia because Gia walked in on some fuck shit, fam. Gia must have thought her sister was dead, and that is traumatic. So Rue needs to spend every moment of every waking hour trying to console her sister. Now these characters are teenagers, bear in mind, between the ages of 16 to 18. So why the fuck am I seeing their bare ass, breast, and dick slanging around in every single episode? At the time I'm writing, I just watched season 2 episode 1, and literally, within the first 2 minutes, you've already seen someone get shot, ass, breast, and a dick. And it's weird. And it's gross. When watching, I forgot that they're around my age. They are literally my age. I'm pretty sure Nate, who is 18, that's my age. And you see a sex scene of Nate humping Maddy and it's like, damn. It's a whole porno. Like, I'm not saying people my age aren't having sex because they are. But I don't want to see that. It's obsessive. Okay, so that's pretty much it. But there are other little things I have on my mind, such as in season 1, Jules could not dress, and you could not tell me otherwise. I do not ship Lexi and Fez. In fact, I don't think I like Fez that much, but that might be due to a lack of screen time until the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. Kat is overhate, and her storyline was one of my favorites. And I hated the drama between her and Ethan. I hate drama that can be easily solved with communicating. Miscommunication is some of my least favorite drama. The show made us think that Jules and Kat were friends, but I never really got the vibe for them apart from like 3 scenes. Although season 2 is making me realize that they are actually friends. Jules is not a bad influence on Rue, it is definitely the other way around. Rue is a bad influence on Jules. Maddy had some of the most iconic lines. I feel like Nate genuinely wants to explore his sexuality, but he is afraid. Nate's dad is weird for recording himself having sex, then turning that into a CD. Like, can't you just leave it on your phone? Or like, if you're going to transport it to your computer and leave it as an MP4 file or something. Because if you did that, Nate probably wouldn't have seen it if he just left it on his computer or his phone. Because Nate did have access to his computer, so on your phone, for God's sake. I don't think I mind the Nate redemption arc. I really don't. I loved how All For Us played in every episode where Rue took drugs or was with Jules, and sort of insinuating that Jules is sort of her drug and they aren't a good match. Maybe, I don't know, I might just be reading too much into things. So I think that's all I wanted to say about Euphoria. Although flawed, I did enjoy it the second time round, and I could make a video about season 2 if anything else annoys me. So far, so good. Okay, thank you. Bye.